My dad had schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. So schizophrenia is a very severe and serious mental illness where the sufferer, for the most part, has a break with reality in the sense that sometimes they hear things that are not real or they see things that are not real. How do I even put this? The next time I saw my father he was on the streets. He was on the streets, like he was carrying one of those Ghana must go bags. He looked like, it's tough to use those words, but you know, the people on the streets just walking disheveled, unkempt, talking to himself. And I was like, oh my God, like, you know, what's happening? What's going on? So imagine seeing your father, your biological father, on the streets, disheveled, walking the streets, and you don't understand why. And you don't understand why can't someone do something. It's going to weigh on you like, and you don't have the words, you don't understand. You're not in therapy. Nobody's helping you to come to terms with it. It sits with you in a way that it depresses you. It hangs on you. So I wanted to be a lawyer because my dad was a prominent lawyer.
Very, very prominent lawyer.
And everybody talked about him and how smart and intelligent he was. He has cases in the law books. So I wanted to be a lawyer, but then I decided that it's better to understand him than to just be a lawyer. So I diverted my interest to psychology. Even my current boss would tell me that he met my dad at a law firm. He would come there. And even in that state of him being disheveled, going through schizophrenia, untreated, he was giving law advice. And he would tell me that every single law advice my dad gave him worked.
Spot on.
Spot on. He would win every single case or approach based on advice my dad gave him. The first reaction is, I'm glad that people got to experience his intelligence even in that state.
Even in that state.
Even in that state.
Yeah.
Because I'm really glad people got to see that just because someone is struggling or has a mental disease doesn't mean that their intellect or their cognition isn't working. And I also advocate because I also have my own diagnosis, but look at me and you sitting here, you wouldn't know unless I share it with you, right? So, for the first part, I have what is known as borderline personality disorder.
Borderline
personality disorder, BPD. It is the most painful mental health disorder in the world. It's a disorder of emotional dysregulation. You suffer the most excruciating emotional pain because you are dysregulated. You fear abandonment, you fear rejection. And I have what is known as the quiet type, which means I turn my emotions inside. So you look at me, you wouldn't see. So I'm high function, it's called high functioning borderline. But I am turning my emotions inward. I am suffering inward. So that's number one. Number two, I also have chronic depression or you know, what is known as persistent depressive disorder. It's persistent because it's always there. It's like having a low fever. So it's like you constantly have this depressive fever or this low grade mood. For the very first time, my nervous system that I had tightly controlled got destabilized because someone that I was seeing really, really cared about broke up with me over text.
Over text?
And then 5 days later, I was hospitalized because my entire system crashed.
Wow.
And that's what started me on, I wanted to do advocacy. What I experienced, which to be very honest, and I'll say it freely now, I get defensive and it irritates me, is I get a lot of people sending me messages about pray and you'll be fine, pray and you'll be fine, as if I don't pray. It's almost as if when you have a mental illness, it means you are an atheist or you are not a strong Christian or you've done something wrong. And I think it's a very negative thing to do to people going through mental illness. Christians suffer. But it is wrong to separate out Christians who are suffering with mental illness almost as if they brought the suffering on themselves. Just because you wouldn't do that to someone who has cancer. So why do it to someone who has mental illness? You know?
The KSM Show.